Hi guys, so welcome back to our channel. So today we are sharing a topic with you that is very important in my opinion, and is something that's been coming up for me in a big way recently, and this video will be released in the same week that I do another video, which is all about kind of exposing the false divine masculine, and this idea of people that project themselves online or in other ways to be something that they end up not being. So you and I had a long conversation the other day about like a few different people that were close to us showing up in ways that were kind of unexpected or not in alignment with,
what we wanted or
what,
we want to go.
Yeah, what we wanted or what, was resonating with us. And so without getting too much into that topic, if you want to watch that video, you can always just go watch that video. It's called Twin Flame Energy Update, Exposing the Divine Masculine. So you can go watch that video. But today, together, we are talking all about, this trap that so many people will fall into on the Twin Flame journey. And it's really, I think, our biggest mission with this platform is to give you your power back, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people will fall into issues, I think, especially on the Twin Flame journey, because it's such a chaotic journey. It makes you question a lot of things about yourself, about your reality, about how you show up in the world, and just, it's a maddening journey in that you feel so strongly for another person, and oftentimes for another person that you either haven't spent very much time with, or a person that has now ghosted you or wounded you really badly, or like all of these things. So it makes you really question what's going on. And there's also a lot of controversy surrounding the Twin Flame journey. We have the Netflix series about the Twin Flame journey, with neither one of us has still watched yet.
I've forgotten about it most of the time, to be honest.
We keep saying we're gonna watch it and we just keep not watching it. And I think for me it would be especially heartbreaking. So I think if I were to watch something like that, I would really need to be emotionally prepared to watch something like that. But essentially what happens is we get so out of ourselves on this journey that we stop asking ourselves for guidance and divine reflection, and we start putting it on other people. We put it on astrology, we put it on human design, we put it on gene keys, we put it on, psychics and mediums and tarot readers and coaches like us. And I think I can kind of smell that energy from a mile away when somebody either comments on one of our videos, or if somebody sends in an application like for our group coaching or for working with one of us one-on-one. You can kind of smell that they're not willing to take responsibility for their own journey, and they just want you to tell them, is this my twin flame or is it not, right? And they just want you to essentially take responsibility for their life.
Give them all the answers without actually having to ask any questions.
Yeah. And why do you think that happens?
There's this almost instant gratification that people want. They want something to just be done now, instead of going through each and every single step and actually earning that gratification, actually finding out for themselves what that truth is. I feel a lot of people are so rushed into just wanting to know exactly what the answer is. Is this person my twin flame? Is it not? Should I be here? Should I be there? What should I be doing? A lot of those questions, the way I feel about what we do, we can help guide you to making the right choices. But I mean, at no stage at all would either one of us be able to say, yes, that's it, or you should do this, or you should do this, or this is what this is. Because ultimately, we don't know. We can only help you ask the right questions to yourself, not us asking you, but prompt you to get yourself to actually ask the questions that make you think like, oh, hang on a second, maybe there's a little bit more to this, and not just being like, so what should I do and who's my twin flame? Because that ultimately, we can't do that. We could, but it wouldn't feel right, and it wouldn't actually be anything of any validity. It would just be a random guess from our side. We can only use the tools that we've learned from our own journey to give that information to whoever would like to use it, in order for them to tweak it in their own way so that they can use it to help themselves find whatever they might need to. And some of the stuff we might talk about, some people might resonate with completely and take all that in, and it really helps them. Some people might be like, only like 5% of what you guys say is actually helpful to me. But the thing is, if we can help you in 2% of your journey, that's awesome for us. We absolutely love being able to do that. If we can help you more, obviously even better. But yeah, I think a lot of people just want that instant gratification. They just want to find somebody who can say this is what it is or that's what it is. And I think as soon as we go too far down that rabbit hole is where we actually lose the journey itself and the beauty of this entire journey that we're actually all on.
Yeah, I think another really interesting thing is that especially today's day and age with, as you said, instant gratification, social media keeps you moving fast. And also we are generally pretty addicted to drama. So definitely the twin flame journey can incite a lot of drama just because of the nature of it and the wounds that surface and the work that needs to be done. And I think a lot of time, this is not true for all psychics and all mediums and all tarot readers by any means. There are incredible people out there doing incredible work. So this isn't to steer you away from that if that's what feels resonant to you. This is just to mind you of what to look out for, right? Because we can be so addicted to drama. People will, again, they kind of sniff that out and they're like, ooh, like let's gossip and have like a little bit of fun. And there will be a lot of fear mongering, I think, when it comes to if you put your security outside of yourself. Again, the twin flame journey is meant to always keep reflecting you back inwards and inwards and inwards. So if you go outside of yourself with confusion or lack of clarity and you look for somebody else outside of you to give that back to you, you're likely going to only get more confusion and more lack of clarity.
Yeah.
Unless that person, like you said, is pointing you back in the direction of yourself. So it's really important when you're looking for a twin flame guide or when you're looking for a mentor on a spiritual journey or something like that, that this person is always giving you the opportunity to take the reins and always giving you the keys to your own life. Because I think what can oftentimes happen is the mentors can get really almost egotistical or on their high horse and feel like, oh, I have all the answers for all you peasants down there. And again, this is not to be true for every single person out there that's a mentor. This is, just a select few that maybe are taking advantage of people or maybe just haven't done enough inner work on themselves to know what to do or what's actually in alignment for them.
Yeah.
And then people will kind of take advantage of, ooh, I have all this information and I have all this knowledge and let me tell you what to do and you what to do and you what to do. And us being vulnerable and scared and uncertain will eat that up, So the biggest thing I think that you can do is fact check your mentors, right? And check sometimes it's not a bad thing to be like, oh, well, I didn't agree with what you said about this, rather than brushing it under the table, because how they respond to it will tell you everything. If somebody says to us like, oh, that really didn't resonate with me, or you said this and I don't agree with it, if we go like, oh, well, that's because, if we gaslight you into thinking you're wrong, that's a big red flag there. Whereas if we say, oh, okay, I can understand, maybe it was a miscommunication, or I can understand that wouldn't resonate with you. Let's, look at it from a different direction or a different lens, What do you think is the most important thing somebody should keep in mind if they're looking for help on this journey?
I think a very important part of it is, for one, you need to trust your intuition, because your intuition 98% of the time will lead you in the right direction. There's always a little bit of variation, and that's why I can't say 100%. But being able to listen to yourself and knowing yourself well enough to know when something is actually working for you or not is hugely beneficial in this entire journey, and it really can take you from being at this place here where you're uncertain to like, okay, we slowly rise and actually get a bit of certainty. I'm starting to understand where I'm at, and these are the things that are actually helping me. And yeah, I think for me, I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is just being certain in yourself and trusting your intuition, and actually being like, okay, does this resonate with me? Does this actually feel right? And like you're saying, like if you're talking with your coach and they say something and you're like, oh no, that doesn't resonate with me. First thing that came into my head when you said that was, I would ask, well, why doesn't that resonate with you? Prompt someone into a way where they start to think a little bit outside the box, be like, okay, well, it didn't resonate with me. Why doesn't it resonate with me? Not that must give them an answer and suddenly make it resonate with them, not that at all, but just to have an understanding as to why certain things work for you and certain things don't. And then from that, maybe that person will start to ask themselves the right questions. And I mean, that's essentially the whole goal of what we do is, if we ask you the wrong question and you said that's not the wrong question, then we're like, okay, but why? What part of it did not resonate with you? Then you can explain that. Then maybe you go on your own tangent that ends up putting you on a whole new different path, which then might help us to help prompt you even further, but it's also making you do the work for yourself, which is, again, the most important part about any of these journeys. So yeah.
Yeah. And so let's say somebody is really ready to do the work themselves. They're ready to move forward in their journey. They understand what you're saying, that they need to have discernment and use their intuition. Like, what do you think is one of the best ways or one of your favorite ways to tap into your intuition? Or like, how do you go about strengthening that connection?
From my experience, it's just come from trial and error. And, if something feels right to me, and I try, it doesn't work out. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of get why that didn't work out. There was a bit of hesitation or whatever it might be, or there might be times I'm like, I feel it's going to work, and it works out great. And I'm like, okay, well, why did that work? Start to focus on the smaller details of things. And I think if you can do that, it can be beneficial to you, to finding a coach or whatever it is that you might be looking for.
Anything that gets you closer in tune with yourself is something that's going to help you strengthen your intuition. So if you like to go for long walks and listen to music, or if you like to meditate, or if you like to surf, or if you like, it's going to be like a running joke in our videos that all you ever do is surf.
Hardly ever
or talk about surfing. So I think anything that gets you really closer and more in tune with yourself is going to help you strengthen your intuition. And I think what you're pointing at in your response was that, like you can play with the universe in a way and like say, okay, like I was feeling this, and then you go and try it, and then you see, okay, was I actually on point there, right? This works really well if you use this with people, right? Like when you're meeting people for the first time and you think, ooh, like you get this flash of insight on what they're really like, and then come to get to know them more and more, you can be like, oh yeah, I was right about that, or I was right about that. So just kind of playing with the universe in a way. And, manifesting is a really good way of doing this as well, because you're setting an intention and then using your intuition to try and bring this thing into fruition, right? So when you're manifesting something, you have to use your intuition to bring you to this point, to this point, to this point, to this point, to this point. And if you don't use it, you're not going to see the manifestation come through, right? So
yeah,
that can be another really good way of, really getting in tune with yourself and getting in tune with your intuition and how that functions for you. Because everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. So you just have to figure out, okay, how does this function for me and how can I make it work the best for myself?
What makes you tick?
Yeah, exactly. So what would you caution somebody against if they were looking for a mentor of sorts, or if they were seeking help outside of themselves on this journey?
I mean, that's a really difficult question, because it really depends, because obviously each and every single individual is slightly different in what their needs and wants might be. I feel a lot of people will be drawn to somebody who has a very big following, because and the thing is, not that there's anything against that, but sometimes going for somebody just because they have a big following doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually somebody who resonates with you and helps you on your journey correctly, or the way that's most beneficial to you. There might very well be. I mean, you could find somebody who's absolutely exceptional that's helped millions of people, and like just one of those really special ones. But I think a really big part of it is to do a little bit of research, watch a few different people, try to get a bit more of an intuition feeling onto them, see if you actually like the way that they talk about things. Do you resonate with the wording they use? Do you resonate with the way they present themselves? Go a little bit more in depth into it, because if you're just choosing somebody on the fact that they've got 20 million viewers, you're not actually choosing somebody for what you can see from them that will actually bring you something. You're just going like, oh, well, social media says they're the best people around, so I'm going to choose you, which, again, it could work for you absolutely fantastically, but it also might not. So to really just do a little bit more of a deep dive into it, doesn't mean you have to sit there and Google them for 3 days. You could also use your intuition again to actually see, how do I feel about this person? Is this somebody that I enjoy listening to and that I could actually have conversation with? Do I feel like I can get something out of it? And then take it from there. And then as well, you could also do a discovery call with them and get to actually know them from face to face through a camera and see like, okay, well, how do we actually feel with one another? Does this feel like I'm going to get what I need out of it? And then take it from there.
Yeah. What's really funny, one time I had a client that signed up for a discovery call, and she had said, oh, thank God, I thought maybe you were like an AI thing, you know? And so, I mean, that's very true in this day and age of being online and, you know, not exactly knowing what you're going to get on the other side. And I'm sure there are tons of people who have sunk a lot of money into things that didn't actually benefit them the way they would have wanted to. So I agree with you. Vetting your coaches is not a bad thing to do, to ask for a free 15-minute call or a free 30-minute call or something like that, just to see if you are a good fit together. That's not something that you shouldn't be able to do, you know? And that person with the 20,000 or 20 million views or followers or whatever might not be able to offer that to you because they don't have the time. So actually looking for channels like ours that's a little bit smaller isn't always a bad thing, because, you know, there might be a bigger availability to work with you more intimately than somebody that has this like massive following.
Might be more personal.
Right. So what I would say, if I were to caution anybody against anything when looking outside themselves on the twin flame journey, it would be to not search for help from a place of fear. Right? Yeah. Like if you have a lot of fear and you're like, oh God, I need an answer now, and you have like this sense of urgency or like the sense of anxiety underneath it, I would say wait and try and sit with that emotion and sit with that feeling and ask yourself, why do I feel like I need an answer right now? Why am I so uncomfortable in this place? And then, you know, from there, maybe figure out, okay, what's gonna be the best route for me. But rather than coming from a place of fear, coming from a place of, I'm gonna search out, I was looking at the bird up there in the window. But rather than coming from a place of, you know, fear, coming from a place of self-love. Like, I love myself so much and I want to see my desires come through. I want to work on myself. I want to become this, you know, beautiful divine expression of myself. And so I'm going to seek out help for that. And I think the intention that you come from will literally reflect in the person that you attract. So if you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for someone to help you, be very clear on what intention you're looking for that person in. Because if you're looking from a very pure self-love intention, you're probably going to find somebody that's really going to help you and really support you on your journey. I think that's all I really have to say. The other thing about self-love and self-worth is, if you guys want to, I have just released, so I actually was super impressed with the outcome on my 21-day self-love challenge. So this is a little mini series. It's on sale right now, so I was only going to make it on sale from like Christmas to January 1st, and I actually just started it myself. So I'm on day 2 tomorrow for the self-love challenge, and I'm super excited. But I was only going to do it for a short time, but because we had such a good turnout, I was like, let's leave it all of January. So if you are wanting to kickstart your self-love journey, it's originally $44 for this 21-day plus a bonus day sessions, basically like mini sessions with me where we do different meditations, exercises, all that kind of stuff. If you want, you can sign up now and you will get it for 50% off, so $22.22. So yeah, guys, that is what we have to offer for you. If you want to check out more links, you can check them out down below. We are now taking applications for Twin Flame Path to Awakening 2025 in March. And if you're looking for that, you can check the links down below to sign up. And we are looking forward to catching you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here today. Big love. Bye.